This part of the service is normally when the person doing the notices get up and introduces the speaker, gives them a really, really, really fantastic, great up big loading, and just really praising them up, saying how wonderful they are and everything like that. You've got to listen to me today, guys, sorry. Thank you. So today, I'm going to talk to you about the greatest day. Okay, as you can see there, this wonderful cross. Now, if you look at Google, according to Google, and on the English Heritage site, the top 10 moments according to English Heritage are: 1. William the Conqueror defeats Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Number 2. The sealing of the Magna Carta in 1215. Now, I did look into what that was all about, but I'm not going to explain it now. Number 3. Now, this one, okay, is a bit bizarre. Bearing in mind, it's the top 10 moments in English heritage. The plague, the Black Death. That appears as number 3 in the top 10 moments on English heritage. That was in 1346. War of the Roses in 1455. Again, I looked at it, but I'm not going to explain it all now. William Shakespeare being born in 1564. Guy Fawkes and the Gunpowder Plot are discovered on the 5th of November, 1605. Number 7, the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Number 8, Victoria becomes the Queen in 1837. Number 9, VE Day marks the end of World War II in 1945. Now, number 10, all the kids here, I'm sure, will really, really appreciate this one. I know my two will. Tim Berners-Lee invents the World Wide Web. And kids, if you don't know what the World Wide Web is, it's the internet. And that was in 1989. Now that can be, and I'll allow that one to be one of the top 10 moments. In my household, that was probably number 1. So some of them may seem great moments, some of them not so great. Like I said, the plague, not sure about that one. But we're going to do a quick quiz. And I'm going to see if any of you here can work out and guess my greatest day. So, would it be, there's some photos, I didn't warn my mum, I do apologise, there's photos, number 1 please. Family holidays. When I was younger, we had lots of family holidays. See, my natural colour is blonde there. So, family holidays, could that be one of my greatest moments? Now, I have warned this next one. Number 2 was one of my greatest days, my first ever time as a bridesmaid. And there I am, as a bridesmaid at the young age of 16 on my sister's wedding day. So was that my greatest day? Or was it, in fact, my wedding day? And there's me and my husband. We got married here. We will be celebrating 12 years next Sunday. I had to think about that. It's engraved on my ring, but 12 years next Sunday, we are celebrating. But was that my greatest day? Or was it the birth of my first child, Marcus? There we was, about 10 minutes. He was about 10 minutes old there, okay? So was that my greatest day? Or, I can't leave her out, was it the birth of my second child, Ruth? She was so tiny. She was only £5 out, Diddy. Or was it, in fact, some of my greatest days, my family holidays now? And that is us at Butlins last year in the summer. Yeah, it's really difficult. Do you know what? There was about 3 pictures like that taken, but that's the best one I could get when they're all looking and they're sort of putting a smile, although Ruth looks a bit strained, but, you know, but there's some of my greatest moments. So all of these have been great days. All of these have been great memories, but which is the greatest? No. We're going to return to that a little bit later on. But what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some stories from the Bible where it could be that it could be the greatest day for the person that's involved in the story. So for the first story, I am going to need 3 children to help me. Now this is where I'm going into my assembly mode, into my element. So I need 3 children to help me. Hands up if you'd like to help me. If your hands don't, you're a child. If your hands don't go up, I will just pick on you. Gracie, up you come. Ruthie, up you come. Your hand went up there. Marcus, up you come. Marcus, up you come. Okay, Marcus, Lemuel, will you come and help me? Yay! Awesome. Right, come on the stage then. Up you come. Now for this one, you can all be on the stage. Now for this part, I'm just going to move this back because I do need a little bit of room. Oh, I don't want to damage Naomi's guitar. You didn't see that. So for this part, Ruth, if you'd like to come and stand here for me. Grace, if you'd like to come and stand with her. Lemuel, if you could just go and sit on the edge of the stage for me because you're my blind begging man. Okay, so you cannot see. Okay, you have been blind since birth. Okay, you don't know what your hands look like. You don't know what shoes and what feet look like because you've just never been able to see. You've just only ever been able to feel. Okay, so you're blind. You're sitting on the edge of the road. Okay, this is going to be our road. You're sitting on the edge of the road and you are begging. So put your hands out because you're begging. Now, the story goes like this. There was a man who'd been blind since birth, and he was begging, known to be begging at the side of the road every single day. He would beg for food, he'd beg for money, because you see, he had nothing. In those days, there wasn't things in place where you could go out to work if you were blind. All he could do is sit at the edge of the road and beg. Now, one day, Jesus, you are playing the part of Jesus, and you are Jesus' disciple, decided to take a walk through this town. So if you can just walk up there and back again for me. You go with Jesus, that's it. Mind the leads, then walk back again for me. Come back this way. They're walking along merrily, and then they come to the blind man. So just walk up to the blind man. Just stop there for me. That's it. Now, I should have got myself a bit more prepped for this because the microphone is down here. So they've got to the blind man at the side of the road, and the disciple, you're the disciple, remember, and you're Jesus. The disciple says to Jesus, why is this man blind? Say that, why is this man blind? Say, why? Why is this man blind? And Jesus says, it's so I can show you my power. Can you say, so I can show you my power? Just say, my power.
My power.
Well done. Give her a clap. Awesome. And you see, and then disciple was like, well, is it something that he'd done when he was born? And Jesus was like, no.
No.
So I can show you my power. So show you my power. Can you say that? Say power.
Power.
Awesome. Now, what Jesus did next, okay, is, I don't want you kids to ever copy this. And Grace, you don't have to do it right now, but just pretend. Jesus spat onto the floor. So pretend to spit on the floor for me. Go, pfft. Okay, Jesus knelt down. He rubbed his hand in the dirt and made it into mud. And then he wiped it onto the blind man's eyes. Just pretend to wipe it on Lemuel's eyes for me. Just pick it up, just wipe it on his eyes. Well done. And then Jesus said to the blind man, get up. Say, get up.
Get up.
So the blind man got up. He said, go to the lake.
Go to the lake.
And wash your face.
And wash your face.
Now, you may be thinking, how will the blind man get to the lake? Because he's blind. However, the blind man had lived there all his life. So even though he couldn't see, he knew his way around. So the blind man, he got up, he went to the edge of the lake. He knelt down and he started washing his face. He was scrubbing because Jesus had put so much mud on there. It was really thick and it was starting to dry because it was warm. He was washing, he was trying to get rid of this dirt. Then all of a sudden he wondered what this thing was in front of his face. He's looking because he was like, what's that? Be amazed. Go, oh! Go, oh! Because he could see. Stand up. He could see his hands. Have a good look at your hands. What else do you think you would think? If you've been blind all your life and you could suddenly see, how would you feel?
I can see.
Awesome. Okay, so he was checking out his hands. He was checking out his feet. Because you see, he'd done what Jesus had asked him to do. Just by washing his face, this man could now see because Jesus had shown him the power of God. Now, surely, this has got to be one of the greatest days in this man's life. Surely. We'll come back to that. Let's give them a clap as they take their seats. Well done. That's it. Oh, sorry, girls. That's it. Well done. Let's give them a clap too. Oh, okay. Do you want to stand here? Just stand here for a minute. You can help me with the next bit. Okay. So, now, we're going to look at another greatest day. Now, some of you, especially the adults will like this one. Because you see, Jesus and his mother and his disciples are at a wedding. Okay, who likes weddings? Who's looking forward to going to a wedding? Sorry, but put my hand up. Now, at this wedding, there was wine, okay? Now, they were all having a fantastic time. When all of a sudden, they found out the wine had run out and all that was left was water. Although water hydrates you, that's awesome. But all that was left was water. So what Jesus did, he performed his first known public miracle. Because what Jesus decided to do was take this water and make it into wine. Now you see, now it was water. Now you see, the adults, I'm sure, some of you would like it. I will drink it. Look, it's quite drinkable. It's not wine. It's water made into wine. So you see, that there, for adults, could be a great day. And for the people at the wedding, if you think about it, they witnessed first Jesus' known miracle. That would be a pretty awesome day. So that is another great day that we find out about in the Bible. Now we're going to have a look at one more story from the Bible. And this one, I do actually need 6 people to help me. So I'll have 1, I will have 2, I will have 3. Become Emma? Any more? Victoria, Ania? Coming up? You helped me with one. You did a great job. So good. Up you come, girls. Let's take this off the stage. Mark, sorry, could you just take this off the stage? I don't need it. Oh, no, I will need it. That's fine. Leave it. So, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. 1 more? Is that Tamara or Stephanie? Stephanie? Up you come. Awesomeness. Now, we'll try and do this one on the stage because it's not an locker room. So, Marcus, if you can stay where you are, that is awesome. Just take a little bit of a step back. Mind the leads, that's it. Because, Marcus, you are now playing the part. Marcus, you're now playing the part of Jesus. Okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you come this side for me. Emma, you stay where you was. Awesome. You 4 are now playing the part of the 4 friends. Now, this story, okay, is another story where it could be known as a great day. Now, you see, Jesus, he was preaching, and lots of people had come out to see him. So pretend you're preaching, talking about, that's it, fantastic. No, not blah, 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 quietly. So Jesus was out preaching, and so many people had come along. And these 4 friends suddenly had a thought, or go ding. Okay, ding, you've had a thought. You're much better in my assemblies. Ding, you've had a thought. Awesome. They've had a thought because they've got a friend. Emma, can you just sit down for me? They have a friend who can't walk. So what these 4 friends decide to do, they decide to get their friend. If you just try and hold her up, Ania and Stephanie, if you'd like to come here. Stand up, Emma. And if you're very careful, I don't normally do this, hold her, ready? Hold her. You got her? Put a hand under there. Have you got her? One under your legs. You got her? Sorry, Devon, I should have checked with you first, but health and safety and all that. And what they decided to do is they decided to take this person who couldn't walk to Jesus. The 4 friends, you can put her down so she can walk, it's fine. So the 4 friends took her to see Jesus. But you see, there were so many people there, They couldn't get in the room. They couldn't fight through the crowd. So what they decided to do was carry the friend up to the top of the building and dig a hole. So you thought, I've now got to dig a hole. Kiara, you've got to dig a hole. You've got to do your bit. No, not you, because you can't walk. So you've got to dig a hole because, you see, they're digging the hole because they really, really, really want to get this man in front of Jesus. Because if they can do that, surely it would be a great day for him. Surely it would be fantastic. So let's see what happens. They lower their friend in front of Jesus. I can bring him along. Emma, if you come, bring your friend along and sit down in front of Jesus. Sit down in front of Jesus. That's it. Jesus notices them. And he says, your sins are forgiven. Can you say that, please, Marcus? Now, everyone, some of the people there were like, who is this man worthy to say your sins are forgiven? Now, Jesus said, Marcus, you need to be listening to this. Stop it. Jesus said, surely it's easier for me to say your sins are forgiven than for me to say, take up your mat and walk. Say, take up your mat and walk.
Take up your mat and walk.
And at that moment, the man who could never walk stands up and starts walking. Just walk along there for me. Come round here, Emma. So you see, the man who couldn't walk because of his four friends thinking about him, he said, pick up your mat and walk. And the man could now walk. Surely that has got to be a great day. Who think that would be a greatest day? You know, wouldn't that be awesome? Now let's give them a clap as they take their seats. Sit down, you go. Thank you. So these three things we've just said about, Jesus healing the blind man, and then Jesus turning the water into wine at the wedding, and then Jesus making the lame man walk. Surely they've all got to be great days. Okay, they're all miracles in themselves, they're all great. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you my story. Some of you may know it, some of you might not. And some of you may know I grew up in a Christian household. Both my parents went to church, and myself and my sister, we all went along. From an early age, I can remember loving Jesus, and I loved going to church. I understood what Easter was about. I understood that Jesus had died for me, and then he'd risen again. And him rising from the dead allowed me to have a relationship with God. But you see, as I got older and I got into my early 20s, I found the world and I got attracted to the world. I had a job that paid well, and I had the money to go out and spend it drinking. I spent my weekends drinking, and sometimes I spent my weeks drinking. I then got another job. I got more money, which meant more drinking, more socialising. Because of my lifestyle, I stopped going to church. I loved God, but I knew what I was doing was wrong. I had a boyfriend who's now my husband, and I didn't want to leave him. But let's fast forward to September 2007. Now at the beginning, I asked you if any of you can remember or any of you think you would guess what my greatest day was. Can any of you think what it might have been? Anybody? Marcus? My wedding? Okay, so the greatest day wasn't actually any of those that I showed you at the beginning, because my greatest day was a Saturday evening, and it was at a place called the church at SwanMead. It was here, and they had a ladies' event on. It was called Significant, and it was here that I gave my life back to God. You see, there I had a full realisation of what God had done for me. Because you see, I'd grown up loving God, I'd left God, and now I was just like, God, I absolutely adore what you've done for me. I realise that I could be forgiven. I realised that Jesus had died in my place, that I could have a relationship with God. I knew that me asking for forgiveness this time wasn't just words. It was heartfelt and it was action. I acknowledged that Jesus rising from the dead, that meant that I could have a relationship with God. I knew my future was back in God's hands. My love for God was stronger than it had ever been. Now, remember I was saying I loved God all my life. Even when I'd left going to church, I still loved God. It was my life choices that stopped me coming from God. I still loved God, but the fact that Jesus would die for me, only me, if I was the only one around, became real once again. It became more real. And this truly was my greatest day. So my question to you is, what are you going to allow to be your greatest day? So there's many things in life that can be a great day. As we saw there, it was my family holidays. They were all great days and great memories. It was my wedding, the birth of my kids. For some of you, your great day could be getting your first house. Even for the children, a great day could be when you moved into a house, a new family home with your mum and daddies or with your carers. So that could be a great day. The day, Dan, you've just bought a house. The other people just bought a house as well, Naomi. That was a great day. But was it your greatest? Or some of you, like myself, I like going on holiday. Who likes going on holiday? I like going on holiday to hot places. And to get there, more often than not, people go in aeroplanes. Okay? Who likes going in an aeroplane? I do. Because if you go in an aeroplane, it always means you're going somewhere else. So you see, a great day could be going on holiday. A great day could be the day you very, very first go on an aeroplane. A great day for myself would be the day that I went to Romania for the first time. But you see, another great day, now I'm sure there may be some adults, possibly some children, would be if you got the chance to go up in a rocket. Who here would like to go up in a rocket? Ruth, okay, Dan. So that could be a great day, couldn't it? The day that you go up in a rocket. But you see, a great day was Good Friday. The great day, thank you. The great day was Good Friday that we just had, when we remembered Jesus going to the cross for us, remembering that what he did for us was to go to the cross so that we could be forgiven for everything that we've done wrong. It could be that you're 3, it could be that you're 4, it could be that you're 54, 64. It doesn't matter what age you are, because Jesus still went to that cross for you. And that was a great day. However, to me, that wasn't the greatest day. Because 3 days later, it brings us to Easter Sunday. The 3 days later, the greatest day in history is the day that that stone rolled away from the tomb and Jesus had risen. Jesus had defeated death. No one else had ever done that. The tomb was empty. There was nobody there. That truly is the greatest day. You see, because of this day, I know that I can now have a relationship with God. And that for me is the greatest day. There's a kids' song that we do. And it says, the greatest day in history. Death is beaten. You have rescued me. Sing it out. Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal. You have won the day. Shout it out. Jesus is alive. It goes on, it goes, oh, happy day, you washed my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. So are you going to allow God to change you? Are you going to allow and accept the fact that Jesus died and he's risen for you? You may feel that you are not worthy of such a thing, but you are, because Christ died for you. You may think, you may be go, oh, do you know what? I've heard this before. It's been said before. But ask yourself, why are you thinking it isn't for you? Because it is. Jesus didn't hand choose who he was going to die for. He didn't say, oh, I'm going to die for Charlotte. I'm going to die for Paul. Oh, yeah, I'll die for Devon. Oh, I'm going to die for Angela as well. Because he also said there was no names. He died for every single one of us here today. He died and he rose again. So each and every one of us can have a relationship with God. In John 3:16, 17, in the Message, it says, this is how God so much loved the world. He gave his son, his one and only son. And this is why. So that no one need be destroyed. By believing in him, anyone can have a whole and lasting life. God didn't go to all the trouble of sending his son merely to point out an accusing finger, telling the world how bad it was. He came to help, to put the world right again. Anyone who trusts in him is acquitted. If you've never accepted Christ dying for you, if you've never asked for forgiveness from the things that you've done wrong, today could be the greatest day of your life. Just as mine was back in September when I gave my life back to God, that was the greatest day. Today could be the greatest day. I'm going to say a short prayer in a moment. And if you want today to be your greatest day, I'm going to ask that you join in and repeat it after me. But so you don't feel alone, I'm going to ask that we all bow our heads and you repeat it after me. So if we could just bow our heads, that would be fantastic. Father God, thank you for sending your son. Your son Jesus to die for me. Thank you that even if there was only me on this earth, you would still have done it. God, today I want to make it the greatest day in my life. By asking for forgiveness for the things which I have done wrong. I ask that you come and be part of my life. God, I accept what your son Jesus did for me by making this day the greatest day in history. Now, just as we've still got our heads bowed, if you have said that prayer for the first time, if you could just raise your hands, I've got something to give you at the end. Thank you.